Okay, hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the next lesson in the Traffic Building Masterclass. I'm excited to dive right in to this lesson because this is where the fun really starts to come into play, okay? In this lesson, lesson number 3, we are going to start talking about strategy, okay? What exactly is the strategy that you're going to use to increase traffic for your website offer or your e-commerce store, whatever it is that you have that you want to promote and build traffic to convert prospects into customers. So we're going to talk about strategy. First, we're going to talk about creating your strategy, your specific strategy, by following the roadmap that I'm going to provide with you today. And I'm going to show you a few items that you need to understand first before you start building your marketing strategy, okay? These are very important concepts that we need to make sure that we have a good understanding of first. Then I'm going to show you the 6 recommended steps that work really well for us at my agency here. These are the steps that we use on a day-to-day basis for any of the hundreds of campaigns that we're always working on to make sure that we can drive the right traffic and convert customers into sales. And these are the things that we recommend that you take, the steps that you take as well when you're starting to build out your specific strategy. Then we're going to go into a little bit of planning, which you may seem like a little bit of common sense, but just to be safe, I want to help you guys plan your specific strategy. We're going to be adding tasks onto your calendar for the next 8 weeks. Okay, this is an 8-week program that we recommend that you follow to increase traffic. Okay, then I'm going to go over following the supplied order of operations. Okay, it's imperative that you follow the order of things that I'm going to show you here today so that you get the most out of the actual process, and sticking to the plan and why you should do so. And at the very end, I'm going to show you some action steps where I summarize the exact steps to follow so that you can be most productive. All right, these are the things that you're going to take action on as soon as you're done this training, so you start to actually make progress and gather your wins for your specific business. Okay, so let's dive right in. First, let's talk about creating your strategy for your business. Okay, a few important things to consider before we begin to build your traffic building strategy. All right. The first thing that I want to go over with you is I want to make sure that you guys really understand that this training is a sharing of where we have had great success in our agency's clients. It's not a guaranteed process. I'm not guaranteeing that you're going to get the exact same results that we have achieved for our clients, but I'm telling you that this is the process that we use on a day-to-day basis. So it's a great place to start. Rather than you going out and trying to figure it all out yourself over a long period of time, over trial and error and spending of money that you can't afford to lose and things of that nature, I'm giving you guys the exact steps that you need to take, okay? And these are the steps that work well for us. And we've taken years of process building and trial and error ourselves. And I want to save you guys the steps of making mistakes and fast pacing yourself to success. It's really what this is all about. And I want to make sure that you understand that it's actually recommended to consume the information in this training and apply it directly to your business. Okay, take the time you've invested into this course. Take the time to consume the information. Don't just watch it once. Watch it twice, 3 times, however many times you need to make sure that you have a solid understanding. I want you to take notes, go over those notes, and apply what you've learned here today. Because you don't make any progress in your business if you don't apply what you've learned. Okay, there's no sense in learning and moving on and trying to learn something else. So consume the information and apply it directly to your business. Ideally, you already have traffic going to your website, something that you've generated through, some organic social media, SEO efforts, whatever you may have done, traditional marketing efforts, anything, and you're converting prospects into customers in your website or funnel first. Okay, if you don't have any of that, you may as well just stop right here and get to that point, because the things that I'm going to show you here today need to be applied from that point, this point right here, where I'm showing you that you actually have converting customers forward. Okay, so you need to make sure that you're there. And the methods that we share in this training work really well. Okay, but the things that I'm showing you in this specific lesson today, these are only the basics. Okay, the more advanced and detailed strategies and tools are covered in more detailed and advanced level trainings. So as you go through this masterclass, you'll get more details about the things that I'm going to go over today. I just want to make sure that you grasp the basics, okay? I've kept it really simple in this video so that you can grasp and apply these concepts first before you move on to the next steps, because this is a lot of information. If I was to put it all into one video, this would be hours long, maybe an entire workday. But I've found in my career, in my experiences, that if you break it down little steps at a time and start to apply little things at a time, simplified, and stack upon the things that you've learned, that's where you're going to make the best progress, okay? So I highly recommend that you follow the process in the order that it's delivered, okay? All right, so let's move right in. First, again, assuming that you already have a business that's started, you have a website, you've already developed some traffic that you're sending to your website, and it may be through a combination of these two things. I'm just using these two areas as an example because they're very common, and these are things that people do a lot. When they come to us, they're already doing these type of things. Some people are doing some of the things that I'm teaching you in this training, but are having no success at it. But you're at least doing these things. You're doing some organic social media. You're focusing on your product and your service, and you're driving people to your website. Maybe you're doing some SEO efforts. Maybe you're doing some other things too. But just for the sake of this training, this is where you're at, right? You're starting there. And to be honest with you guys, this stuff never ends, okay? Ideally, this is an ongoing day-to-day thing, 365 days a year, something that you'll always be working on and getting better at, and just continuing to evolve over time. So that this stuff never ends, okay? Before you start, I want you to understand that the example that I'm going to show you is a true case study. It's an example of a client that we worked on recently. It's the exact example that I showed you in the 2x your sales in 60 days training. I'm just getting into more details now for you, okay? So that's what I want you to make sure that you understand that. The client actually had a product offering and was sending traffic to the site from SEO and organic social media efforts they had done themselves. So just like I was just explaining. And the traffic was converting into sales already. Okay. Now, in that specific client story, this client specifically was already generating $100,000 a month in revenue in their online store and offer. But the challenge, which is great, that's fantastic, right? But don't let that scare you away. You could just be doing $1,000 right now. The point is that that client was stuck. They could not get it beyond that. They had tried for a long period of time. So that's why they had worked with us to hire us specifically to move forward. Ideally, you should be doing the same thing to get yourself to the next level. Now, let's move on to step one. Okay? Step one. The first step in the process after you're doing these things is you're going to focus on CRO. Now, for those of you that don't remember what CRO stands for, it stands for Conversion Rate Optimization. Okay? That means that you're focused on looking at your site that is already converting, and you want to take a deeper look at various pages. Specifically, let's say an e-commerce page, and let's say you want to look at the product for the detail page for a specific product that you're promoting. You want to take a look at that page and make sure that you've optimized everything in there. Okay, that's what this step is all about. So it's looking at a page in finer detail. Now let's go over some more specifics. The very first thing you want to do is you want to access your site builder, which I assume you already know how to do because you've already got a website. That could be your Shopify e-commerce store. It could be Go High Level, where you actually have funnels that you're using. It could be ClickFunnels, whatever your site builder is. Make sure that you have access to it. All right. Then here's the trick, the big trick. You want to set up A/B testing. Now, I'm not going to go super deep into that in this specific training. That's for the more advanced training. But in a nutshell, A/B testing is the ability to change variations of elements on the page. Maybe it's the headline, maybe it's the image, maybe it's the description, all sorts of things. You want to set up A/B testing first, so that maybe you change the headline or the title of the product in the page to be one thing, and then a variant of that as a second option. Then when you drive traffic, you're going to see which one converts better, and which one converts better is what you're going to change it to. So the detailed description here is, instead of changing an element on a single page, you're changing the entire path that a user takes through your website URL. So again, in the more detailed trainings, I'll show you examples of that. But if you can imagine, let's say you were selling a baseball cap, okay? And that specific baseball cap had a list of features, colors, images, a whole bunch of different things. But rather than just changing an element on the page, you're going to make 2 pages for that baseball cap, 2 variations of that baseball cap page, okay? Because why are you going to make 2? Version 1 might have one headline, version 2 might have a different headline, okay? So when you drive traffic to your site, you're going to send half the traffic to one and half the traffic to the other. And whichever one converts better at the end of your test, that's what you're going to change on the page. That's going to be the winner. You're going to declare a winner, okay? You have to determine variations of the test, all right? Headlines, copy content, images, all these things that I'm going over with you. Maybe the user interface. What's the user interface for those of you that are newer in the industry? Maybe just the way that things are laid out on a page. Okay, your option menu, the layout, the UI, they like to call it. And then that's when you're going to create the 2-page variations you want to test, just like I was explaining. Okay, pro tip. Okay, this is very important, guys. Only test 1 page at a time. Okay, so meaning only test 1 product at a time. Okay, because you don't want to confuse matters, because you'll start to waste money and time and effort. Pick 1 product, test variations, declare a winner, move on to the next product. Okay. All right. So that being said, let's move on to step number 2. So that's CRO, conversion rate optimization. Okay. The next step in your campaign process is you're going to work on Facebook ads. Now, some of you may have already tried this. Some of you may be completely brand new. But once we at our agency, my team has worked on this specific element, these tasks, they move on to generating traffic. And the very first place we start with generating traffic is with Facebook ads. Okay. First, I want you to make sure that you get access to your Facebook Ads Manager. All right. Again, I'll go into more detail on Facebook ads in the next level advanced training, but you need to make sure that you get access to Ads Manager. Write down your target goals for your first campaign. What is your goal? Is it just brand awareness? You just want to show people about your site, your product, or are you focused on conversions, whatever they may be? Make sure that you determine that. Research what other businesses in your space are doing for products similar to yours. So a great resource for this is to go to facebook.com/ads/library. You can see what other people in your industry are doing for their product. So then maybe you take some ideas from them, or you borrow from them, or you just don't want to do the same thing. But this is a great resource in your researching. Okay, brainstorm a few original ad concepts that will get attention. Make sure they're different than what you found in your research, but you want to come up with a couple of different ideas. Okay, usually my team comes up with around 3, sometimes 3 to 5, just some different concepts. And then you're going to work on developing the ad creative. Now, what is the ad creative? The ad creative is the headline of the ad, the copy, the body copy of the ad, the image or the video. Okay, so all of this stuff that describes your specific product. And the next step is you're going to set up your ad campaign. All right. And by setting up your ad campaign, you need to install the Facebook Pixel. The Facebook Pixel is a little snippet of code that is able to track what the traffic has done, where it's come from, what it's done, how it's performed. And that's very important. Do not launch your campaign unless you have that installed properly, okay? Because otherwise you won't collect any analytics. Create your target audience. So, what type of people are interested in your baseball cap, the thing that you're selling? Are they baseball players? Are they male, female, both? Where do they live? Do they live in the southern part of the country, the northern part of the country? What is your target audience? What age limit? What age ranges? Specify your ad budget. Do you want to spend $5 a day, $30 a day, $50, $100 a day? What do you want to be able to spend? That's the money that Facebook gets, okay? You tell the system how much money to spend, and it delivers based on that budget. And then when you've done all of that, you're going to launch your campaign. And at that point in time, you've finished your Facebook ads campaign. Now you're launching your campaign, and Facebook's going to start to drive traffic to your website, okay? And ideally, your website, you focused on some CRO efforts. So now ideally, you've optimized the thing, and we're going to see how it performs over time. All right. So that's your first round of traffic that you're going to launch onto your site. So let's move on to step 3 now. Okay. So you've learned how to send the first volume of traffic. Okay. Your next thing that you're going to do is you're going to work on your Google PPC campaign. Okay, this is the next round of traffic that you're going to send to your website. Very similar to the Facebook ads campaign. So once you've gone through this process of doing your Facebook ads, it's very similar, but just a different platform. So it's not like you're doing something completely different. You're just working with a different platform, but same basic concepts. Get access to your ads account, and you want to align your marketing objectives, whether it be your sales, lead gen, brand awareness, whatever it may be, with your ad type and the structure of your campaign. Okay? You want to do some keyword research and ad reach analysis to determine a daily and monthly budget. So there are tools within Google that allow you to do research on what terms. Maybe it's baseball cap that you want to use, or trucker cap, or fitted cap, or whatever the terms are that you want to target. That's what you're going to research first over at Google. Then again, just like your Facebook ads campaign, for your Google PPC campaign, you're going to develop ad creative. And here it's going to be, again, things like headlines, descriptions, images, videos, site links, call outs, you name it. All of the elements, the things that you need to execute this ad campaign. That's what you're going to work on next. Then you're going to actually set up your ad campaign and install the conversion pixel, or link Google Analytics for conversions, and create your target audience and retargeting lists, confirm daily spend. Okay. Again, you can see this stuff is very similar to what we did in the previous campaign for Facebook. It's just on a different platform, guys. And then you're going to launch your campaign. Once you launch your campaign, you now have traffic coming from Google and traffic coming from Facebook to your website. And so you should see, when you start to take a look at the analytics, you should see an increase in traffic volume from when you just had organic social media and SEO. Probably very significant, depending on how much ad budget you applied to these campaigns. So now we've leveled up. So if you remember, in the 2 extra sales in 60 days training, we had a graph chart that showed traffic increasing. Right here, you're at about week 3 or 4-ish, thereabouts. So you should see significant traffic increase. And ideally, if you've done everything right, you're going to have sales and conversions increasing, which is the ultimate goal, right? All right, so that's where we're at. Now we're going to move on to step 4. Step 4 is where you're really going to level it up. But before we do step 4, you want to make sure things are working well here, all right? If there's something, maybe you launched the campaign wrong or you had some issues, get this stuff under control before you go into email marketing, because there's no sense in spending more money and time if you got something broken in one of these 3 steps. Master these steps first, okay? Now, we're going to focus on the next level of traffic, and that's your email marketing campaigns. The very first thing you want to do is you want to define the purpose of your email blast, whether it's generate sales, awareness, new product launch, informational, whatever it may be. It's the same thing that I do in the Ad Agency Academy or for Impact, where when I'm sending emails to you guys, right? You guys that are on our list. Same thing. I want to define the purpose. What's the purpose of the email? There's no sense in working on creative or any content until you understand what you're trying to achieve. Then you're going to create your email layout or blueprint. Okay, so typically how I do the thing, or we do the things here, is that we understand what tool that we're working in. For us, it's Go High Level. Maybe it's MailChimp. There's a whole bunch of them. Again, I can go into the details of those in the email marketing advanced training, but for now, just understand you're going to create your email layout or blueprint. A template essentially is what you're working on. And then you're going to generate and implement the graphics and videos to be used in the email blast. So again, the copy content along with the imagery that you may be putting in that email. Something that is going to entice the user to click. The objective is to get a click and to go to the actual website from the email that they received. Well, first they got to open it. Second they got to click on it. And third, they go through and purchase. But we'll get to that down the road. Create click-through links with UTMs to help track traffic conversions from the email blast. So what are UTMs? UTMs are specific URLs that allow you to track, okay, better analytics for the traffic that you're sending to the site. So again, another way to track. So because whenever you're spending money and sending traffic, unlike traditional advertising media like billboards, TV spots, radio spots, newspaper, print, none of those areas give you the ability to track. All of these areas give you the ability to track, which is super important, right? When you're spending money as a small business. So make sure that you have those UTMs set up properly. And then you're going to create a catchy subject line and the pre-header. And then you're going to send test emails first. Make sure you test them to yourself before you send it to 3,000 email addresses. Because if you've got something you need to fix, that's important to make sure that you got that fixed before you send it out to everybody. Then otherwise you look silly. Once you've done that, now you've got 3 levels of traffic going to a website. So again, that graph the traffic starts to move up, and ideally the conversions or the purchases on your website go up. That's the whole point of this. So now we've got 3 volumes of traffic going to your site. All right. Let's move on to step 5. Step 5 is review analytics, okay? At this point, you should have analytics under control or know at least where it's at, because you've implemented the tracking codes for Facebook ads, the Facebook Pixel, the Google PPC tracking codes, as well as UTMs for email marketing. So you should know where all that stuff's at. Log into your analytics software and pull a report for the past 30 or 60 days. So why 30 or 60 days? Well, this is where we started, right? So, let's look at this as like 1 week increments. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So about a month. That's about 30 days, right? You should be at about 30 days when you're here. And I say 30 to 60. Some people are going to take longer. Maybe some people take 2 weeks to focus on each of these areas, whatever it is. But your first 30 to 60 days respectively. And then review the results that you achieved from the things that you've done so far. What kind of traffic volume have you sent and increased to your website? Do you have conversions? What's your ROAS? Now, for those of you that don't know what ROAS is return on ad spend. So, ideally an industry standard is you want to have at least 3 times the amount spent. So if you spent $500, ideally $500 in ads, ideally you want to have made $1,500. Okay, we just looked at analytics for a campaign today. I'm talking about like 2 hours ago. I looked at analytics for a campaign we spent, and they're getting 50 ROAS, 50 times the ad spend. I think that they made $20-some thousand. So you do the math, go backwards, and see how much that is. So what's your ROAS? Did you meet your goals? Like, were you converting to sales? If so, awesome. Thumbs up. You're 2 wins, right? If not, you need to make some changes. What worked well for you? What didn't work at all? What do you need to work on? These are the type of things you need to determine after you review your analytics. And where can you make adjustments for future campaigns? This part of the process is the learning process, right? Everything we've done up to this point over the past 30 to 60 days is all like activity to generate traffic. Now we're taking a look at everything we did and what worked and what didn't. Okay, that's really what it boils down to. Okay, and that's the reviewing the analytics phase. All right, so let's move on to step 6. Step 6 in the process is refine and optimize. Pretty straightforward. After reviewing the data from your campaign, you want to determine what areas need refining. Is it your website or your funnel? Maybe something is nobody was converting and something's broken on the detail page. That's a big problem. Hopefully you figured that out back here with your first campaign you started to work on. Okay? Ideally that's the case, because if not, you've now spent triple the amount of money and time sending traffic on something that's broken. So let's make sure that your website and funnel is functional and working well here first. Okay? Is there something in your ad campaign? Maybe your concept isn't great. Maybe the creative that you have is not ideal. Maybe it needs refreshing. It's become stale. We've had campaigns that have worked well for months on end, and we've had some where the creative needs to be refreshed every couple of weeks. Ideally, no less than 2 to 3 weeks. But you need to figure that out. Does your email campaigns need adjusting? Maybe you're writing your subject lines are not ideal, and they're just not helping people to click in to go into the email. And then maybe your body copy needs some improvement, so people will click in and actually go to your website. You need to determine whether they're working or not, and what can you improve upon. Maybe you need to improve upon your SEO stuff. Now, I know this is not things that we're going to review in this training, but like you are going to learn a lot about the areas that you worked on previously to all of this work by now sending more traffic and just looking at analytics. So maybe you'll figure something out here that was broken as well or needs improving upon. That's why this part, the reviewing analytics and the refining and optimizing area, is so important to take some time to really kind of determine. Maybe your organic social needs refreshing. Who knows? That's what you need to figure out. And pick no more than one item to fix in each area. Okay, maybe there's something on the detail page you fix here, you refresh ad creative here and here, or your keywords need adjusting here. Maybe you need to get better at writing copy here. Just find one thing to work on in each of the areas, because if you start to work on lots of different things, then you're gonna confuse matters. You're gonna get confused, and you won't be able to determine what's working and what's not. And then make adjustments. Once you've determined what's working and what's not, make tweaks and adjustments to all of these areas. All right? And then once you've made those adjustments, you're going to launch new campaigns, guys. It starts all over again. And it's a never-ending cycle. That's why I made it this graphic a circle here. Okay? Now the cycle starts over again, but most likely with fewer steps along the way. So that's the good news, is that once you've gone full cycle with all of these steps, you now have done a lot of the work, right? You don't have to learn about CRO. You don't have to learn about how to set up Facebook ads or Google PPC or email marketing, all this stuff. You've got the foundation set up. Now you're just making adjustments, okay? And now you're just constant revisions, brainstorming and revisions and adjustments. That's what the cool part of the process is once you've gone around the circle one time, okay? All right. Now, let's go into actually planning. Now that I've kind of dumped all of the process on you there, and you've looked at the full circle, we're going to actually start to plan your specific campaign, or I'm going to show you how we planned and plan for every campaign. Again, we do hundreds a week, but this is how we manage them. Okay, planning your strategy is super important. I've found that a little planning goes a long ways. Guys, don't do what I did for years and just kind of dive right in. Okay, just make some plans. Okay, let's kind of like write some things down and figure out what you want to do. But here's another mistake I made. I'm saving you guys months of time, if not years. Do not over plan. Okay, you need to take action, guys. You need to actually move forward and do something. I made this mistake for a very long time. I love to plan. I like everything to be kind of like fine-tuned and perfect before I do anything. The problem with that is that you never move forward. So don't overplan, guys. Gather login access to things like your website, funnel builder, Facebook ads manager, Google ads account, email marketing platform, analytics software. You've already done that stuff, guys, right? So you already know where these things are. But just, as a reminder, that those are the things that you're going to need first. And I want you guys to use a calendar of your choosing. Now, you may choose to use paper, you may choose to use digital, you may choose to use a combination of both. Whatever. Pick a calendar process that works for you, something that you can write something down or type a task into it, and you can check it off as you've completed it. I personally use a combination of both, whether it be good or bad. It's just the way that I manage my personal production. I like to have the digital calendar because I can look at it on my phone, right? I can see exactly where I'm at, or the things that I have to do within the day, and I can add it if it just pops into my head when I'm out at the grocery store or whatever. And then I also use, I guess it's technically not a paper calendar, but more or less a to-do list process. So, but that works really well for me. Whatever works best for you guys. And set your targets and stay hyper-focused to hit them, okay? Your targets. What are your targets? Your goals, okay? I've been recently calling my goals my targets. I guess really that's another lesson, but set goals for yourself and break it down into small targets. That's another lesson I should go into for you guys later. But set your targets and stay focused on them. Okay. Now, here's exactly what we're going to do. Now that you got your calendar out, here's all of the things that we just went over. Here's the entire process of how you're going to move forward and increase traffic, okay? And the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to plan, okay? Now, you're going to say, well, planning's not in here. Correct. It's not one of the things that I chose to leave in as a detailed aspect of this specific training, but it's inevitable. You've got to start somewhere. So you're essentially right here, and you've got a plan. So get your calendar, get your notebook, your pen and paper, and start planning, all right? The next step is your CRO. So pick a date on your calendar. Maybe it's if you're going to plan out your whole marketing aspect this week, and this Friday is your target goal to have your plan completed, then awesome. Then the next date that you're gonna map out is your CRO process is going to be completed a week from this coming Friday, whatever the date may be. If you don't like Fridays, you want Wednesdays, Mondays, it doesn't really matter. Set a target, okay? Set a target for yourself. I like Fridays. Fridays work well for me because I like to break down my weeks, and then I can break down my days and my hours and all those things. So we're going to focus on CRO first. Then Facebook ads on the following Friday, right? Put it on your calendar. Write down, on this specific Friday, I'm going to have ads running, an ad campaign running to my website. I will have already been through CRO. So put it on your calendar. Then the following week, maybe it's Wednesday. it's in the middle. This month didn't have 5 blocks in the 4th week, but Wednesday, Friday, whatever the date, doesn't matter. You pick a date. Maybe you think you can get it done in 3 days. Put it on the calendar. Google PPC will be completed by this point in time. So after 4 weeks, you will have done a lot, guys. If you put this in your calendar and you work towards this, look how much you will have achieved. You will have done all of this in a month, which means that you've worked on the optimization of your page. You've got ads running here. They seem to be working all right. And you've got Google. You've increased your traffic. Awesome. Move on to step 5 then. At that point in time, we're going to put on the calendar email marketing. We're going to have, on our 5th week, email marketing campaigns running. Okay. Now I'm driving more traffic to the site. Put that on your calendar. On week 6, we're going to review the analytics. We're down here at this point. Put week 6, review analytics on your calendar. If you don't hit your targets and you go off by a week or so, it's not the end of the world. Maybe you hit a roadblock in this part and it sets you back a little bit. It's okay. We don't always hit all of our goals and hit personal records every single week. But at least you put it on your calendar, something to shoot for. All right. Promotions on week 7. Now, again, another area that I did not put in this training, just like planning was up here. Promotions kind of goes in this area here, somewhere around this. And what do I mean by promotions? Promotions, maybe you've promoted the baseball cap on your website, the specific baseball cap for this period of time. Okay. You've got that, let's say you've got that optimized, it's working well, people are converting, you're getting sales. Awesome, fantastic. Let's work on a new promotion. That one's optimized, you're generating traffic, pick another product. Ideally a product that is popular, one that the profit margin is higher, something that is going to do well for you. So you kind of want to, at this point, after you've kind of reviewed analytics, kind of determine what promotions do you want to promote in the future. Maybe you want to stay with the same baseball cap promotion. It doesn't matter. But work on promotions for this week. And in week 8, you want to refine and optimize. Okay, so at week 8, you're about 2 months, close to 60 days in at this point in time, which again, you should be at this point. You've done significantly more work in this amount of time than you had for a year, right? Because you've set your targets, you set your goals on a weekly basis, and you're following this roadmap, and you're going to achieve those goals. Do not let anything take you off of your hyper-focused mode, okay? You're on hyper-focus mode and achieving it. Guys, if you're able to achieve all of this in the 8 weeks, that's a tremendous accomplishment and win, okay? These are the things that we did in our 2 extra sales in 60 days example, case study for our client. That's the exact order and the exact process and things that we did, okay? And once you've gone over and you've refined and optimized, guess what, guys? It starts all over again. Okay, you're back up to here. But make sure that you follow the order of operations. I can't emphasize that enough. And by that I mean start with CRO, move to Facebook ads, move to Google PPC. Once you've mastered that, move to email marketing. Do not go right in and start with Google PPC. That's not what we did. That's not what worked well for us. I'm telling you that you need to do it in this specific order to ensure the best results. So follow the order operations and stick to the plan. Don't deter from it. Maybe you get into here, you're at Facebook ads, and you're like, I don't know about Google. I don't want to do that. I'm going to jump over here and just look at my analytics. No, do not do that. Follow it in this specific order. Master each of these things in this order, okay, until you get through all of it. It's going to take some of you longer than 8 weeks to do all this. It's a lot of work. But depending on how determined you are, this is your road for success. Okay? Follow it in this order. And then organic social media and SEO are ongoing. These are things that you had going at the beginning of all of this, or maybe you had some other things, but this is the example that I'm using. This stuff never ends. So I guess ideally this stuff is kind of like in this inner circle and going on all the time because it's something you're already doing. But I just wanted to point out these things are ongoing. So once you refine and optimize, you kind of jump back here to square one and just kind of work it all over again. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you guys? Do you guys have any questions or comments? If you do, put them in the comments section below so I can see where there's possible confusion, where it might have gone over your head, because I want to make sure it's super important to me that you guys get this concept now. Okay, you nail this now before you go on to the next trainings, because if you don't have this down and under control, I'm only going to confuse matters. So make sure that you put questions and comments in the page below so I can see where you guys are struggling. I want to make improvements, and if there's significant confusion, then I'm just going to make adjustments in the training and just record it again and replace the one that's there, because there's no need in confusing people. So hopefully that makes sense. That makes sense, guys? It does? Okay, awesome. Here are your action steps. Okay, we've gone through 40 minutes of a ton of information, and actually, guys, we're just scratching the surface, but that's okay. It's all about understanding the concept first. Now, the processes that are in play and the order that you're going to do things. So here are the steps that you're going to take to move forward. All right, first you're going to set up your targets for your next 8 consecutive weeks. Stay hyper-focused, all right? That's what we just went over, this, right? I want to make sure that you guys set up these things first, okay? Once you know your targets for your consecutive weeks, you can move on to the next process. Maybe 8 weeks is too much for you. Maybe you've already got a full-time job and this is a part-time thing you're doing. I don't know. Maybe it's just too much to achieve in 8 weeks. Set it up for 12 or 16. Whatever works well for you, but just put it up on the calendar and create your plan, okay? And again, like I said, for Friday of each of the 8 weeks, write down the goals that you want to achieve in each of the areas that we recovered and work towards that, okay? Break that down into smaller chunks so that you hit those targets. Create smaller tasks. So once you've created those 8 weeks of targets and goals that you're going to achieve, I want you guys to break it down into day by day. Okay, smaller bite-sized chunks, because honestly, all of this can be super overwhelming. So if you don't break it down into smaller chunks, you're just going to get freaked out and stop, and that's not what I want you to do. I want you to break it down into smaller portions. Just like I'm breaking down this course, right? I've kind of painted the big picture, okay, what you can achieve, the problems that we solve for you. Now I'm breaking it down into smaller areas, okay? And I want you guys to keep a journal. I want you to keep a journal of exactly how you did along the way. What worked for you? What didn't work for you? What areas are you confused in? What questions do you have that you can bring to live training sessions or Q&A sessions that I'm holding within the group? Keep a journal, because if you don't write down and take notes, you're never going to remember all the things the stumbling blocks along the way. And I want to be able to help you guys with that. That's the whole point of why I'm doing these things, is I want to help with solving these problems, help you guys get through it, because my goal is to help you avoid the roadblocks that I hit along the way. And remember to take action every single day, and that's how you're going to achieve your goals, guys. Again, back years ago, I would spend way too much time planning, educating, trying to understand everything. And I did this, as recently as 10 years ago, 5 years ago. I did it in my 20s. You think I would have learned along the way, but I just always was one that wanted to try to understand it all first. And Honestly, guys, you're not going to understand it all. I've been doing this for decades, and it took me a long time to learn that you just got to take action and move forward, okay? And I promise you, if you take action on the things that the goals that you're setting up for yourself, and you focus on it every day, and you ask questions, you come back to the community and you ask questions, I promise you, you'll make strides in the right direction, and you'll achieve amazing things that you never thought you would have been able to achieve beforehand. So, okay, guys, that's it. We've made it. You've made it to the end of lesson 3, okay, in the Traffic Building Masterclass. I'm so excited that you made it to this point. I can't wait to get into the next lesson, but I think you guys got a lot to do, and I'm so proud of how far you've come so far. So let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Take care. Have a great day.